Sea City is one of those Jersey Shore towns where the entire town seems to move in the summer. Bikes everywhere, golf carts everywhere, packed restaurants, absolutely nowhere to park. Groups walking around all hours of the night, constant movement from the beach to dinner to nightlife, and then all back again. And honestly, people usually know pretty quickly whether they love the atmosphere or whether it's probably too much for them long term. Because this town has a completely different rhythm compared to somewhere like Ocean City, Avalon, or Cape May. In this video, I'm going to break down what living in Sea City is actually like year-round. The summer energy, the different sections of towns, the rental mentality here, the walkability, housing style, school options, and who tends to fit Sea Isle best long-term. Hi, I'm Mike Sutley with the Lexi Realty Group here at Keller Williams Jersey Shore. My team and I help people just like you buy, sell, and invest across the Jersey Shore, and most importantly, make sure you choose the right fit the first time around, because every Jersey Shore town has a completely different personality, and Sea City definitely has one of the most recognizable personalities anywhere at the Jersey Shore. Now, geographically, Sea sits in Cape May County between Ocean City and Avalon. I know I'm going to get pushback from those hardcore locals and Strathmere diehards for not acknowledging the small town of Strathmere on the north end of Sea City, but I consider Ocean City to be the northern neighbor. Now, compared to a lot of surrounding shore towns, Sea has a much more socially active and fast-moving summer atmosphere overall. And honestly, a lot of people are specifically drawn to Sea City because of that energy. One of the biggest things we see with people coming into Sea is that this tends to be a very lifestyle and experience-driven town. People here are outside constantly in the summer, walking everywhere, riding bikes, taking golf carts around, going to bars and restaurants, plenty of late night house parties, meeting up with friends. There's movement almost everywhere during the peak season. And unlike some quieter shore towns where people mostly stay centered around their own property, Sea feels much more socially connected throughout the island. Now, one thing buyers sometimes underestimate is just how dense Sea can feel during summer weekends. And honestly, the high density is part of the town's identity. Homes are relatively close together in many sections, streets get crowded, parking becomes competitive, restaurants and bars get packed. And during major weekends like 4th of July, the town is packed, and if you move your car, you may never get a parking spot again on the entire island until after the weekend. Some people absolutely love that atmosphere. Some people definitely don't. Other people realize pretty quickly they want something quieter, and honestly, neither one is wrong. It just comes down to personal fit. Now, from a housing standpoint, Sea has a very recognizable property style compared to some surrounding shore towns. You'll see a heavy concentration upside-down homes, multi-level shore properties, condo duplexes, and a rental-orientated layouts designed to maximize occupancy and summer usage. And because Sea has such a strong rental culture overall, many properties here are designed specifically around group summer living. A lot of bedrooms, open gathering spaces, decks, outdoor showers, parking underneath, which limits street parking. Sea is home to the reverse living layouts and building to maximize every square foot on a lot. And one thing we walk buyers through all the time is understanding whether they want a property that feels more investment oriented or more residential and lifestyle oriented long term, because certain sections of Sea can feel heavily vacation and rental driven during summer. Now, from a rental perspective, Sea remains one of the strongest weekly rental towns anywhere at the Jersey Shore. The summer demand here is massive. Large family groups, younger families, friend groups, repeat vacationers. Sea has an extremely loyal summer rental base. And because the town has such a strong social reputation, summer demand tends to remain very strong year after year. But that also creates trade-offs. Certain blocks become much more transient in peak season. Turnovers become constant during summer weekends. Noise levels can increase depending on location, and some buyers eventually realize they want a quieter ownership experience than certain parts the Sea can provide. And I'm curious, would you rather own a high-energy shore town like Sea or would you personally prefer something quieter and more residential? Drop it in the comments below. I'm always curious to hear from your feedback. Now, one thing that's really important to understand is that not all parts of Sea feel the same. This is something we walk people through constantly because the location inside the town matters a lot. The central areas near JFK Boulevard and the Promenade tend to feel much more active socially during summer. More foot traffic, less parking, more nightlife movement, more restaurant activity, and plenty of energy. Then, as you move farther south, many sections begin to feel noticeably quieter and more residential overall. And honestly, a lot of long-term homeowners specifically prefer the south end because it gives them a little separation from the busiest summer activity while still keeping them close to everything. The balance becomes really important depending on what type of ownership experience somebody actually wants. Now, another thing people don't always realize is that Sea Isle still has a meaningful year-round community, even though it's very small, especially compared to the summer population, because that dominates the identity of the town. And for families considering primary homes or longer-term ownership, school systems become part of the conversation more than people initially expect. Sea Isle City students attend Ocean City District for high school, which is a major positive for a lot of families because Ocean City High School is a very well regarded regionally and pulls students from several surrounding shore communities. That relationship gives families access to a much larger, stronger school environment than people sometimes assume when looking at a small shore town. And while Sea Isle absolutely becomes a high-energy summer town, there's still a core year-round local community that keeps the island function outside of peak season, yet it's very small. Now, the off-season here feels very different than summer. Once fall hits, the pace slows down dramatically. The crowds thin out, parking becomes easy, beaches become quiet, just a little bit of a rebound on the weekends, and the town starts feeling much more local. But unlike towns like Margate and Cape May that maintain heavier off-season restaurant and social activity, Sea Isle still feels significantly more seasonal overall once summer ends. And honestly, some people love that quieter reset after the chaos of the summer. Now, generally speaking, the people that tend to be happiest long-term in Sea Isle usually value a few specific things. They typically enjoy social energy. They like walkability. They enjoy active summers. Many want a property that works well for large family gatherings and rentals. And a lot of them generally enjoy being in a short town that feels alive and almost constantly during the season. Sea Isle is also extremely strong for people that want a very classic Jersey Shore summer experience. Busy streets, bikes everywhere, packed restaurants, summer routines, weekly rentals, families coming back year after year. That's a huge part of the identity here. But honestly, Sea Isle probably isn't the perfect fit for everybody. If you want a very quiet summer, some privacy, minimal rental turnover, or more luxury residential atmosphere year-round, there are other towns that may fit you a little bit better. And that's completely okay. Every shore town has its own pace, personality, and trade-offs, and honestly, one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming all Jersey Shore towns basically function the same, because they really don't. Sea Isle is one of those towns where if lifestyle fits you, people absolutely love it here. But if you're looking for a quiet privacy and slower summers, there are probably other shore towns that make more sense. And honestly, that's the whole point of these videos. Every shore town has a completely different personality once you spend real time here. So if you are trying to compare towns, thinking about buying down here, selling, investing, or just have questions about how these different areas actually function year round, feel free to reach out anytime. I'm Mike Sutley, and all my contact information is down below, and my team and I are always happy to help however we can.